she is the 1990 DR650. We got the oil drained. There's the old oil filter right there. The new filter. There's the oil filter cover. Took off the bash plate or skid plate, and then took off the counter shaft sprocket, little protective cover. So all we got to do now is take off the bolts for the magneto cover. There's 10 bolts that go around this cover here. We're gonna start loosening those up and then put them onto our template. Oh yeah. Okay, first let's break these down. Alright, here we are, 1990 DR650 with the stator cover off. So here's one of the counterbalance shafts, the forward shaft counterbalance shaft and the rear counterbalance shaft. This goose is. And then the spring should bring the chain back into tension because it's quite loosey-goosey. Okay, here we are. We got these loosened here. We got this 6mm and this 6mm loosened, and once you do, it's going to be able to just flex completely all the way back up to this. You can see the spring is what's bringing this into tension automatically. So now that you have these guys loose here, just barely press this spring just to give it a little bit more tension, like so. We're talking very little. And simultaneously, I tightened up this bolt and this bolt. Now, look at the tension. It's just nice. But it's not all sloppy and it's not too tight. There's a little bit of play like there should be. Now we can tighten this guy back up right over here. And we're done. We just need to get a gasket now. Also, don't forget some dowels. There's a dowel right here. Don't lose it. It goes on this side of the case. And there's another dowel I left inside the cover that goes here. And that slides into the case right over here. So don't lose those. First I gotta clean this really well on both sides. I think the gasket's broken on one little area, so I'm gonna have to use some sealant. And then put some fresh oil in, and she should be a lot less vibration-y and less shaky. We'll see. The first thing we did was turn this counterclockwise to get our timing mark lined up right over here with this mark on the crankcase. So we're lined up here and we're at top dead center. How do we know we're on the compression stroke? I took the spark plug out, and if you put in a piece of straw or hose or a little small stick like this, it should literally just barely go in and touch the top of the piston. So we're at top dead center. So after you're at top dead center on the compression stroke, now we're gonna loosen this lock nut and stopper bolt right here. Then once you're done loosening those, loosen this bolt first and then this bolt second. And then you'll have a lot of slack in your chain. If you didn't already, you'll have a ton of slack because you're gonna get your torque wrench set it at 7 foot-pounds on the forward balancer chain sprocket, and then simultaneously you're going to hold the crankshaft so you stay at top dead center. It's going to be very light, 7 foot-pounds. You'll just click it, make sure you hold simultaneously, and you're good. This stop bolt here, you're going to tighten that up ever so slightly. Make sure the lock nut is backed off. So tighten this up. First back off the lock nut, and your chain tension should be nice, not too tight. See that? There's still some free play right there. Once you tighten up this bolt, then lock down this one, this lock nut. Then once you're done doing that, you tighten up the rear 6mm and then the forward 6mm. Luckily I didn't find anything, metal shavings, or worst case you're gonna find pieces of the woodruff keys, the front and the rear, as well as the counter shaft itself. The crankshaft itself. Each one of those on the other side of the flywheel here and these sprockets, they have woodruff keys, 3mm woodruff keys. So if they came apart, fell apart, or were disintegrating, you would see pieces of them here. Surprisingly, the gasket is in fairly decent shape, except for in one spot. Of course, at the bottom edge over here. No good here, but that's no big deal. this RTV sealant, yeah, we can just torque it up back to specs in 1 hour after we got done hand tightening it, and then tomorrow morning time to put some oil in and start her up. Oh yeah. She always starts up first kick.